Yes, so welcome everybody. Welcome to this session. It's a very, very exciting session. As we all know, all our children are going back to school. And we thought it would be good to have a look at the nutrition that they're getting, both at home and even as they go to school. As they resume school, whether they're on day bags, whether they're on day school or boarding, it's good to look at and analyze what are we feeding our children, because what you feed your children will ultimately determine how they'll perform in class. We tend to spend a lot of money taking them to tuition and all these things and really invest a lot of money in their education. But there are other areas that we neglect, and that is nutrition-wise. We use the same money to destroy their performance, to affect them negatively as far as performance is concerned with the food that we give them. And we are just going to have a look at that and see how can we be able to cushion our children so that as they go to school, they enjoy the experience and they're able to perform at peak levels, and they can remain healthy while doing so. My name is Fred Gichuki. Fred Gichuki has been in the wellness industry for many years. I joined this industry for the sole reason of making money, but I got passionate about making a positive difference in people's lives in terms of health, in terms of wellness. And I ended up changing so many people's lives as far as health is concerned, starting with my own parents. My parents were suffering. My dad had ulcers. My mom had high blood pressure. And through the Neolife products, through the Neolife opportunity, today they are well. My mom's pressure has been stable for the longest. My dad's ulcers disappeared. He later developed prostate problems, but those were also sorted out with Neolife products, the supplements, as well as medication. And he's doing very, very well. So today we are looking at the health of our children. And I don't know whether my screen is visible. Angao, are you in a position to just confirm that you can see my screen and that the screen is moving? Okay, Anne does not seem to be able to unmute herself. Let me see who else can be a co-host.
Yes, Fred, I can see you.
Is it moving?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is where we are at. And this is what you're talking about. You're talking about children's nutrition. And as the screen suggests, we all have a choice to make as far as what we feed our children. On the left side, we can feed them with all the goodies, the things they love. This is what the kids love. They're all on the left, the pizzas, the burgers, and all that. On the right, we have the right kind of food, which children incidentally don't like. The broccoli, the cabbages, and all the fresh fruits and all that. And we as parents have to make a decision as per what are we going to feed our children. Because what you feed them will determine so many things in their lives, as we are just going to have a look. If you give your children a lot of junk food, research has shown that later in life, they will get so many problems, including obesity and chronic illnesses. In fact, they say that a single fast food meal could add between 160 to 310 extra kilojoules of calories for teenagers and children, respectively. And you can imagine if you're doing that on a regular basis, 3-4 times a week, what are you doing to your children? Some of the things that will result to eating junk food at least 3 times a week for children is what they call atopy. These are disorders such as asthma, eczema, rhinitis. There are so many parents who tell me, Fred, my child has eczema. What can I give for eczema? and all that. And you wonder, okay, you feel for them, but you wonder what to do. Now you understand that the junk food that you are giving them is what is actually causing the eczema to start with. The other challenge that these children will get is constipation. The junk food that they eat doesn't have a lot in the way of roughage. And as a result, the kids become constipated. That can lead to so many other things, bloating, lack of appetite, and all these things. The other challenge is addiction. When a child gets used to eating fast food in their childhood, even as they grow up, they are unable to go to eat fresh foods because they're so used to eating junk, they don't know anything else that they can actually eat. And even when they get complications like diabetes and the like later in life, they still are unable to switch to the right fresh fruits and vegetables that the doctors will recommend. So that becomes a big challenge. The other issue is poor academics. Now, fast foods can lead to impaired academic performance. This is actually because of the sugar crashes and the poor concentration levels that the kids actually undergo because of fast food. Then they have very little in the way of energy. They're always tired, especially our teenagers. You find that most of the time they are fatigued because the food that they're eating doesn't give them any kind of energy. The other thing is depression. When a kid becomes obese and all the other kids start poking fun at him or her, then the kid can suffer low self-esteem, and which can also lead to depression. Sleep disturbances, that also happens, especially when you take things like sodas, like colas, which contain caffeine, which actually makes bedtime a nightmare. Then hyperactivity. You find that many parents have a problem controlling their children because their children are all over the place. They're always crying and all these things. And you find that the same parent is wondering, how can I tame this kid? But you see, when you give your children a lot of sugar, they get a sugar rush. And that sugar rush will mean that they'll not be manageable. They'll be crying all over, rolling on the floor and doing all these things. I see that a lot in the supermarket. And you can, that time the kid is crying like that, the parent is giving him more salty and more junk food, more sugary foods. And you're thinking, this parent does not know what she's giving this kid is the one that is producing these tantrums. So hyperactivity results from eating or giving our children a lot of junk food, especially when they go back to school and they have to carry some food, some snacks, or even some food to school. What are you feeding them? If you're feeding them a lot of junk, a lot of cakes, a lot of biscuits and all these things, there's that juice that has a lot of sugar in it, then definitely that kid will be hyperactive and will suffer sugar crashes in the course of the day, which will interfere with his ability to absorb what the teacher is talking about, and ultimately might result to poor performance as far as the child is concerned. So the question that begs is this: what is the right plate? What should you have on your plate? The ideal situation is whereby half of the plate of what you're giving your children should consist of fruits, fresh fruits, and vegetables. That should be half of the plate. Then a quarter of the plate should be whole grains. We are talking about nafaka kamili, that is the real growth. We are talking about the browns, brown bread, brown rice, brown chapati, brown. Stick with the browns and you're safe. Then proteins. Now, proteins should consist on the other quarter, and it doesn't have to be animal protein. It can be plant protein. Plant protein can suffice as well as animal protein. You don't have to eat animal proteins on a daily basis. You can do that like once or twice a week, because animal protein takes a lot of energy to digest. It has a lot of byproducts in terms of cholesterol, in terms of uric acid, and all this interferes with the kids' makeup. And you don't want your kid to start getting into things like diabetes and high blood pressure, even at an early age. Then milk is important because we need to give our kids enough calcium for the bones that are growing. You don't want your kids to have brittle bones, and milk is a good source of calcium. Now, here we have a list of some examples of whole grains that you can actually consider to be giving your children. We are talking about oats, quinoa, brown, red, and purple rice, whole wheat. There are quite a number of options of whole grains that you can actually give your children, which are sumptuous and which taste very, very nice. So you cannot say there's a shortage as far as whole grains are concerned. Fruits and vegetables, we have a whole variety that kids love, and kids are interesting. What you train them, what you show them, and that's why we say that you need to train your kids the right way. When you train them that you'll be giving them fruits and vegetables, and you're popping in with apples, oranges, pears, a nice variety of fruits, pineapples, they will eat them. But if you use your own money to buy them junk, then they will look at junk as the right way to eat, and that will be disastrous for their health. So that's something to consider right there. Okay, then here we look at some of the amount of proteins per gram of the meats and all that as compared to the whole grains. And we see that if you look at the grammage of proteins in some of things like pork chop, yogurt, and the like, you find that the whole grains actually compare quite competitively, because you can see, like, if you look at peanut butter, for example, the real peanut butter, the fresh one that you can grind yourself, it has about 28 grams of protein, and it compares to tuna. Tuna has 25 grams. Turkey has 25 grams of protein. Yeah. Eggs have only 14 grams of protein. And you see, if you look at that and compare it to something like lentils, for example, which have 6 grams, almonds have 29 grams. So you'd rather eat almonds than eggs, because almonds have more in terms of proteins content as compared to eggs. Even cashew nuts have more. It has 18 grams protein compared to 14 grams protein of eggs. So when you start comparing eggs and eggs, like we'd like to put it, you realize that going with the fresh fruits, vegetables, you still get the right amount of protein, and it would be good to really blend in both, so that your child can be getting like 4 days of 5 days of plant protein, and then maybe a day or two of the beef and the like, and something like that. So that just shows that. Then here we look at this diagram. It just shows us and reminds us what role diet plays on our children's body. Because sometimes we tend to forget, and sometimes we either ignore or we may be ignorant of the fact that anything you feed your children will actually impact a certain part of their body. Starting with the eyes, if you give them a lot of carrots and a lot of pawpaw and the ndomas and the like, they have beta carotene, they'll affect the eyes. If you give them the greens and the milk and the like, it will affect their teeth with calcium. Their digestive system, they need a lot of roughage, which is plenty in whole grains. Then their skin will also look good if you're giving them enough of the fruits and vegetables. Then their muscles also, you need to give them a good supply of protein, and that is where you balance the protein, both plant and animal protein. Their heart also needs a very good supply of fresh fruits and vegetables. And you're talking about things like fish and the like. Their hair as well is impacted by the food that you actually give them. So this is just a graph. It's a picture that you can take a screenshot of that just guides you on what should you give your young person, what should you give your teenager or your child as they go to school. Okay, now let's look at what Neolife has to offer, because supplementation is important and supplementation makes a big difference, especially in the case where you are actually going to school, you're taking your kid to school and you may not be there to kind of monitor what they are eating. Maybe they're going to boarding school, they'll be given lunch, they'll be given supper, they'll have their teas and whatever there. You may not be so sure about the food that they're being given, that it has the right kind of nutrients. Because like we all know that our soils are leached, and even the food that you put on your table may not have the nutrients that it's supposed to have. So your child may be eating well in school, but does that food have the nutrition that the body needs? And we look at Jerry Brasfield. At this point, I can introduce Jerry Brasfield and Neolife. Jerry's mission is to make the world a healthier and a happier place. You can see the picture of Jerry there, and he had a debilitating condition when he was very early in his life. In his teenage, at the age of 19, he had serious asthma, used Neolife products. They worked for him, and he saw an opportunity, got into it, started doing it as a business, grew it to what it is today, currently operating in 55 countries, partnered with the Scientific Advisory Board. These are a board of scientists that ensure that our products are safe, they don't have a side effect. And they have what we call the Scientific Advisory Board seal, which ensures that anything that we get from Neolife is 100% kosher. It's 100% safe for your consumption, and it doesn't have any negative side effects. And Neolife products deal with various aspects of our bodies and our lives. And our children are not left behind, because we have a very exciting program for children. Starting off with what we call Vitaguide. Vitaguide is actually made from fresh fruits and vegetables. And some of the key benefits that it has is that it has antioxidant protection, it has carotenoids in it, it boosts the body immunity. So you find that for kids going to school right now, they are going to mix with other kids, and you find that a class may have, depending on which school your kid is, anywhere from 20 children to even 70 or more. And you can imagine, even if it is 20 students, each of these kids are coming from a different house, different background. They've gone to holiday in a different place. You're not sure what bug or bacteria they've come back with. And they're going to interact with your child. And if your child does not have the right immunity, if his immunity is compromised because of diet, then you find that that kid, your child, will most likely end up getting sick because of the bugs that come with the other children in class. But if you can get them to use Vitaguide, then you find that in about 20 days, they'll have boosted the immunity by 37%. That will protect them from any bug that any child will actually come with to class when they open school tomorrow. Now, Vitaguides are very great. They are great tasting. They are chewable. They are yummy. They are tasty. So all kids will actually love taking them. And you can give this to kids. Okay, well, any age, even adults can take this, but mainly they are for kids 13 years and below. But like I said, anybody can take this. Then we have Vitasquares. Vitasquares are multivites, and they have what we call, they're also great tasting. They are chewable. They have the tree and end grain concentrate in them. They have lipids and sterols. So they work on the cell. They ensure that the cell absorbs nutrients and waste is able to get out of the system. They have vitamin A, they have vitamin C in them. And so the cells get adequate protection when you give them VitaSquares. They have choline and inositol, which improves brain performance for the kids. So the kids can perform well in class. They can be sharp. They can remember what the teacher is talking about when they are on VitaSquares. They won't sleep unnecessarily in the afternoon. They'll be able to stay alert and awake and be able to absorb what the teacher is talking about. Then you have omega-3 salmon oil. Omega-3 is amazing. It's an amazing product. It's good for the mind. It's the only food that the mind has from our diet. And our omega-3 salmon is pure, made from the Arctic region, and it actually helps your mind to function properly. It's an amazing, amazing product. It prevents colds, flus, chest pains. It strengthens the immunity. It's an amazing product. Now, omega-3 will actually undo the damage that is caused by eating a lot of red meat and all the bad things that we've been eating during this Christmas period. If you want to undo the damage, then give your child omega-3 salmon. It will also help the child to be very focused in class. He'll be able to remember what the teacher is talking about. And of course, their performance at the end of the day will actually be enhanced. Now, chewable all C. Now, chewable all C is vitamin C. Again, it's chewable, it is sweet. It actually has a delicious cherry flavor. It's for both adults and children. It supports proper functioning of the immune system. It has a neoplex concentrate, which contains phytonutrients that are available from a whole orange. It also has rose hips and Achelora cherries, and it has a lot of vitamin C. So this is also very good for your child. It will help to protect your child from colds and flus and respiratory challenges. Remember, COVID is still around, and this is one of the products that we use to effectively fight against COVID. So it is good to give this to your child. And the good thing with these supplements is that you can actually, even if your child is going to boarding school, you can be able to pack them and make sure that this is part of the things that your child is resuming school with, so that they can be getting this and taking it. I always make sure that my kids have food supplements as part of the package that they go to school with, so that even when they're away from me, I know at least I'm able to have an impact on their health, even from a distance. Remember, at the end of the day, if they fall sick, you're the one who will be tasked to take them to hospital. They will miss classes and their performance will be impacted. Sometimes they fall sick during exams and their performance for that particular exam goes down. So it's important to really take care of your child's health, even when they are away from you, even if they are going to a boarding school. Now, last but not least, on the children's program is the Neo-Life Shake or Nutri Shake. Amazing, amazing product with 22 amino acids. Our kids are growing very, very fast, and their cells are reproducing at a very fast rate. They are using up a lot of energy. They are creating muscle. And they need 22 amino acids in their diet so that they can form a very strong nutritional foundation. And if you get your kids on these products as they are growing up, then it will mean that even when they become adults, they will not be succumbing to illnesses unnecessarily because they had a proper nutritional foundation. So this is something that really, you, as a parent, you need to consider for your children and make sure that they're getting their Nutri Shake. It can form a very nice breakfast in the morning. Give them some Nutri Shake, or blend it, make it into a smoothie, maybe with avocado, bananas, and something else. And they just take it on the go. And it will help you in the case where a child has become a bit obese and you want to burn some fat, then you can use a Neo-Life Shake and you can take it in at breakfast time, and the kid can actually go properly nourished but without calories, and that will enable the body to burn some excess fat. So Nutri Shake is amazing. Neolife Shake is amazing. Where kids have allergies, one of the best products to sort allergies is Nutri Shake. It also helps the body to produce antibodies, the white blood cells that actually fight disease. So this is a product that is a must where children are concerned. Then you have the Liquivite. Now, Liquivite is for infants mainly because Liquivite is a combination of 3 items: the Vita Squares, Vitaguide, the chewable All-C. And Liquivite has other benefits because it has all the 12 important vitamins. It also has vitamin B6, vitamin B12, folic acid, niacin, biotin, and pantothenic acid. And it also has amino acid, L-carnitine, which actually supports energy production. And other important ingredients it has is inositol. I mentioned about inositol and the power of inositol on the brain. Choline as well, iodine. It has linoleic and fatty acids. So Liquivite, it's actually meant for children who are infants who cannot chew tablets. But anybody can take it. Even adults can actually take it and also get the benefits of Liquivite. And this can form a very nice juice. You can actually mix it with water. It's usually very thick. You can mix it with water and just make sure it is a bit dilute and give it to your child to go to school with. And that can be quite exciting. The other product that is important for our children, and this will be for both the young and the teenagers as well, is Mind Enhancement Complex. The key reason why we are paying school fees is so that our kids can perform well in school. The reason why we take them to boarding school, take them to private school, and all these schools that we are spending a fortune of money paying is so that they can be able to retain something in their minds, which will finally culminate in them passing their exams and then becoming knowledgeable people in society and using that knowledge for the betterment of themselves, their families, as well as society. And mind enhancement enables the child to remember what the teacher taught in class. So this is absolutely a must, especially if you have any candidates this year. It would be very good to start your candidate from term 1 with a combination of mind enhancement, omega salmon. You can also give them TRNN, and just go through every term, make sure that they're on this, because by the time 3rd term comes, they'll be able to remember everything that they have done for the whole year, and their performance will be amazing. I did that for my candidate last year, and she ended up with 408 points, which was quite, she was number 3 in the school where she was, which was quite good. So this is a product that is a must for your children. And like I said, especially where somebody has a candidate, make sure you invest in TRNN, in mind enhancement, and in omega salmon at the very basic minimum, so that your child can be able to perform well, so that you don't lose all the money you've spent on paying for an expensive school, and then the kid not performing well. And I can tell you, because I've dealt with this and I've given quite a number of candidates, and like there's one who actually performed, she was a D student who finished with a C+. And I asked her, okay, what's changed? And she said, well, after taking this combination, I was more alert, I was focused, I could remember things, my performance improved in class, which boosted my self-esteem, and I just kept performing better and better. So you find that sometimes when a child does not perform well, it works on their self-esteem and they start feeling like a failure, and that culminates in them performing poorer and poorer. So the parents out there, if you don't buy your kid TRNN, omega salmon, and mind enhancement, then you're giving them a raw deal, because all the knowledge, all the studies will actually not, will go to waste if they cannot remember what they've been reading. Now, this program is not just for children. Even adults need to use mind enhancement, omega-3. And adults, we need to use this more so because we tend to become forgetful as we grow older. So it's an amazing, amazing program. Now, as we come to the end of this session, let's look at what do we need to give our teenagers as they are going back to school, whether they are girls, whether they are boys, what do we need to give them? This is a conversation that is very, very important. Like I said earlier, we need to look at how can we be able to cushion our kids as they go to school and give them the products that will actually help them to have a very successful term. Now, we start off with omega-3 salmon. I've talked about salmon, so I won't really belabor that point. That's absolutely a must for your child. I've talked about mind enhancement. That has to be part of the package as they go back to school. Then Formula 4. Formula 4 is an amazing, amazing product. It is a multivite with all the vitamins and B group vitamins. It will help your child to have a lot of energy. It will improve concentration. The Formula 4 on the screen is the one that has a bit of iron. And the iron helps to, when you take this, it helps to increase the blood count. It improves oxygen in the brain, and you find that your child is more energetic, is able to recall many of the things that the teacher is talking about. And Formula 4 is absolutely a must for your child as they're going back to school. Then zinc, especially for young boys, zinc is just amazing. But for both boys and girls, it's good for the concentration. It's also good for boosting the immunity. And like I said, these kids are coming together from different backgrounds, from different families, from different parts of this country, and they will come together with different bugs and different bacteria and infections that they've acquired from out there. And they will be interacting with each other. And the immunity of your child is what will determine whether your child is going to fall sick or not. If your child has a weakened immunity, chances are high they might end up getting sick somewhere along the way. So zinc is important because zinc is able to protect your child. It's able to boost the immunity of your child so that your child may not contract COVID or any other viral infection from that any other child might come with to school. So zinc is an amazing, amazing product. Then feminine herbal. Now, feminine herbal is a product that is focused on balancing the hormones for a lady. And you may wonder, why are we putting feminine herbal here? One of the challenges that happens for young girls is the issue of painful menses. And that issue of painful menses sometimes results in them missing classes. They can miss during the period when they're having their monthly cycle. You find that when they're having their menses, you find that the kids are unable to attend classes and they may be in bed for 3, 4, 5 days a week. And this definitely affects their grades in class. And feminine herbal will actually sort that problem out for you. So if you know that your child has painful menses, rather than keeping on pumping them with painkillers or just exposing them and leaving them to take care of themselves in college or in school, give them feminine herbal. Give them feminine herbal, let them start it off at the beginning of the month, and their menstrual cycle will be smooth. They will not have cramps, and they will have a very, very exciting term. The other product is calcium magnesium. Calcium magnesium is just amazing. And calcium magnesium will also work the same, will also work together with feminine herbal to deal with cramps during the menstrual cycle. It also helps in giving a good night's sleep, resting the nerves, especially when you're approaching exams and you're feeling a bit panicky. When you take calcium magnesium, you're able to sleep nicely and you're able to wake up very refreshed and ready to face the day. So calcium magnesium cannot be left behind. But these are products that, in a nutshell, that your child might need as they go back to school. So have a look at that. You can take a screenshot and you can see what can you shop from Neolife that can enhance the performance of your child. Now, some of the other products that we have, there are some that are not on this slide. That shows you the combination that we are talking about for exams, especially when you're going towards exams. We are talking about mind enhancement, zinc, and omega salmon. These are products that will improve brain performance, concentration, memory, accurate recall, and that kind of thing. So I was just saying that other products that are not on this that are very good for your kid include the cleaning products like LDC, like these are products that you can give your child and they'll go to use to shower with. I've had to give my children LDC care to actually go with to school because they are used, that's what they are used to using at home. And we all know the disadvantages of the bar soaps that are used out there. So you can get your children some LDC and some care that they can go with. You can also get them some hand and body lotion that they can go with, which they can apply on their skin. I remember my child was getting a problem because she was using Vaseline like everybody else. And I had to bring her back to hand and body lotion, and her acne cleared. So these are additional products that you can get for your kids so that you can do your shopping from Neolife. You can do your shopping from Neolife, and that will mean that your child can continue experiencing proper health even as they go to school. So as we come to the end of our session today, I just want to mention that apart from the products, remember there's a business opportunity behind Neolife. I joined because of money, and I started doing it as a business. I found it was giving me more money than my job. By the age of 30, I quit employment to do this on a full-time basis. I've built an international business in 12 countries. I've been able to travel to so many countries courtesy of Neolife. And the money is good. The money is good in Neolife. And I always tell, if there's a guest out there and you're looking for something to do part-time that can give you an extra income, probably you have actually come to the right place with Neolife. And tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock, we'll be having a session with our leader from South Africa, where he'll be talking to us about how to make money with the Neolife. And I welcome you to that one if you are here and you're a guest. And I would urge you, take up this opportunity. Right now, the economy, you can see how the economy is going. It's not doing too well. Things are becoming more and more expensive with time. Probably a side hustle, an extra income can actually make a difference in your life, even as it helps you to achieve some of your goals and dreams, whatever they may be. So consider joining Neolife, becoming a part of Neolife, and joining us in the journey to make the world a healthier and a happier place. Now, this recording will be available a little bit later tonight. So I'll be getting the video out, so you can share this with a friend, share it with a neighbor, and let's make this world a healthier and a happier place. Otherwise, it was great chatting with you. See you tomorrow at 8 o'clock at the presentation with Pascal Olo from South Africa. Thank you very much, everybody. God bless you, and nice evening. Bye, everybody.